You don't need to find the doorway into sleep. It finds you. It opens on its own, slowly, silently, like a paper door sliding aside with the gentlest touch. You feel the doorway opening now, a shift in your breathing, a soft drop in awareness, a warm heaviness behind your eyes. These are signs that sleep has come close enough to reach you without effort. All you have to do is lean into the moment. Lean into the softness. Lean into the warmth pulling you inward. The doorway stands open. You are already crossing it. As you step through the open doorway, you feel a gentle pull, not forceful, not urgent, but steady. It's the quiet pull of the night inviting you deeper into rest. Your breath slows even more, as though matching the rhythm of something larger and calmer than yourself. Your body grows heavier, resting deeper into the surface beneath you. Every inhale brings softness. Every exhale releases the last bits of tension still lingering in the corners of your being. You are being drawn inward, wrapped in an invisible comfort you don't have to earn. The night is pulling you toward its center, a place free of noise, free of pressure, free of thought. Inside this quiet, you notice faint echoes of the day, tiny flashes of memory, small whispers of unfinished thoughts. But they don't cling the way they normally do. Each echo rises like a faint ripple, then fades, dissolving before it has the chance to form fully. You don't chase them. You don't follow them. You simply witness them passing through. This fading is a sign. Your mind is no longer holding on to the day. It is letting everything fall away, like snow sliding off a quiet rooftop in the night.
Now, a curtain of drowsiness begins to fall, a slow, warm veil settling over your thoughts. It doesn't block anything. It softens everything. The world becomes hazy. Your inner voice becomes quiet. Your awareness begins to blur around the edges. This curtain doesn't force sleep. It prepares it. It signals to every part of you that rest is the only thing needed now, the only thing the night is asking of you. You feel yourself drifting, slowly, gently, through this soft curtain of drowsiness. Beneath you, warmth expands, subtle, steady, embracing. It rises around your body not like heat, but like reassurance. You sink into it without resistance. Your muscles release without asking permission. Your breath aligns with the warmth, moving slower, deeper, smoother. This sinking is peaceful. It feels like being carried by something soft and familiar, as though the night itself is holding you, keeping you safe, keeping you steady. You sink deeper, and the world becomes quieter. Awareness begins to dissolve now, gently and gradually. You still exist, but you no longer feel like you're thinking. You no longer feel like you're observing. You become a presence without edges, calm, floating, open. Thoughts turn into sensations. Sensations turn into stillness. Awareness thins, like mist fading under soft moonlight. You are slipping into the early stages of dream space, not suddenly, but like drifting on a slow-moving tide.
Deep within, you feel a soft, steady pulse. Not a heartbeat, but a quiet rhythm of peace. It resonates through the body like a gentle hum, soothing every part of you it touches. This pulse guides you, slowing your breath, loosening your thoughts, carrying you farther from the waking world. It is the rhythm of sleep approaching. Slow, steady, comforting. You follow it naturally. You follow it effortlessly. Now a soft fog gathers in your mind, thick but gentle, warm but weightless. This fog is where dreams begin to grow, forming in shapes not yet clear, not yet solid. You drift through it without direction. It surrounds you. It quiets you. It softens what remains of your alertness. The edges of the day have vanished. The fog holds the space where dreams will soon take form. Calm, imaginative, safe. Your awareness begins to sway gently, like a lantern hanging from a slow-moving branch. Not enough to wake you, just enough to rock you deeper into rest. This swaying is comforting, instinctive, familiar. It mimics the rhythms that once lulled you into sleep long before you understood the world. You let yourself be rocked, back and forth, in and out, closer and closer to dream space. You feel the presence of a vast night sky above you, not visually, but emotionally, wide, open, endless, still. This feeling settles over you like a soft blanket, comforting and expansive. Under this sky, everything slows, everything softens, everything becomes peaceful in a way that only night can create. You breathe under this sky. You rest under this sky. You surrender under this sky. The final step is not a step at all. It is a release, a slow loosening of the last threads connecting you to wakefulness. Your thoughts have thinned to a whisper. Your breath has become a quiet, rhythmic tide. Your body no longer feels separate from the night around you. This is the final drift, the moment where waking melts into dreaming, where the night fully receives you. You don't fall asleep, you slide into it, peacefully, effortlessly, naturally.
Now the boundary between you and the night becomes almost invisible. Your breath, your thoughts, your body, all of it blends into the quiet around you. Nothing feels separate anymore. Nothing feels heavy. Nothing feels awake. There is a moment, brief, delicate, where you feel yourself slipping beneath the surface of consciousness, not falling, not sinking, just disappearing into softness. Your inner world becomes dim, warm, and wide. Images begin to form, hazy shapes, drifting colors, faint sensations that have no story yet but feel safe and familiar. This is the earliest stage of dreaming. The doorway is behind you now. The day is long gone. You are fully inside the embrace of sleep, carried effortlessly, wrapped gently in stillness, held by the night with absolute calm. Your mind floats, your body rests, and you disappear into the deepest comfort of the night, without resistance, without effort, without thought. Sleep has taken over, and it holds you with perfect peace.
Now the boundary between you and the night becomes almost invisible. Your breath, your thoughts, your body, all of it blends into the quiet around you. Nothing feels separate anymore. Nothing feels heavy. Nothing feels awake. There is a moment, brief, delicate, where you feel yourself slipping beneath the surface of consciousness, not falling, not sinking, just disappearing into softness. Your inner world becomes dim, warm, and wide. Images begin to form, hazy shapes, drifting colors, faint sensations that have no story yet but feel safe and familiar. This is the earliest stage of dreaming. The doorway is behind you now. The day is long gone. You are fully inside the embrace of sleep, carried effortlessly, wrapped gently in stillness, held by the night with absolute calm. Your mind floats, your body rests, and you disappear into the deepest comfort of the night, without resistance, without effort, without thought. Sleep has taken over, and it holds you with perfect peace.
And now, as the last traces of awareness melt into the night, you drift into a space where even silence feels soft. There is no boundary here, no division between breath and stillness, between body and dream, between you and the quiet that surrounds you. You are floating, not upward, not downward, but inward, into a depth the waking world could never reach. Here, every moment expands into calm. Every sensation turns into warmth. Every breath becomes a gentle lullaby written by the night itself. Thought dissolves completely. Tension disappears. Even the memory of wakefulness fades like the final ember of a dying candle. And what remains is rest. Pure, unbroken, effortless rest. A rest that holds you, restores you, softens you, and protects you without requiring a single thought in return. You drift deeper, wrapped wrapped in the soft snowfall of the mind, guided by the quiet rhythm of your breath, held by a night that asks nothing of you except to let go. And you let go, fully, completely, peacefully. Sleep surrounds you now, gentle and endless. You are safe. You are still. You are home in the quiet. Good night from Sleepy Zen Story.
There is a moment in every long day when you realize something simple yet powerful. Most of what you worry about never actually happens. The weight you carry is often heavier in your thoughts than in your hands. And now, welcome to Sleepy Zen Story, a quiet space where your night gently unravels, where your breath softens, and where the stories patiently guide your mind into rest. Tonight's journey is called The Old Clock and the Candle, a story of time, awareness, and the slow glow that leads you into peaceful sleep. Before the story opens, let your body settle. A long breath in, and let it fall out, as naturally as a leaf drifting to the ground. Feel your shoulders lower. Feel your chest soften. Let the day fall away from you like a cloak you no longer need. Imagine a small room beside a silent, moonlit river. Rain taps gently on the window. A single candle burns in the corner, its flame swaying with the soft whisper of the night. And in the far corner, an old wooden clock ticks steadily. Tick, tick, tick. Slow, patient, unhurried. You step into this room, not as a visitor, but as someone who belongs here. Someone who needs rest. Someone who needs to remember that time is not an enemy. It is simply a companion. The candle acknowledges you with a warm flicker. Through the open window, the river moves with a slow shimmer beneath the moonlight. Its surface glows like brushed silver. Its sound is gentle, like a deep breath being taken by the earth. You feel your own breath matching its pace. The clock continues ticking, not to hurry you, not to remind you of anything undone, but to remind you of what is present, here, now. Each tick pulls a thread of tension out of your mind. Each tick unravels something you no longer need. You sit in a small wooden chair beside the candlelight. Its surface is warm from the glow. As you lean back, the chair holds you gently, not rigidly, not tightly, but with a steady, grounded presence. You let yourself be supported. The candlelight spills across your hands like liquid gold. It softens every line, every mark, every reminder of the day's tasks. In this lighting, nothing feels sharp. Nothing feels rushed. Everything is softened. You listen to the ticking. There is something almost alive about it, not mechanical, but mindful. Tick. Pause. Tick. The space between the ticks is where peace lives. The river outside whispers like someone telling a story from long ago. Not a loud story, not a dramatic one, just a simple truth. Everything moves, everything passes, everything renews. The candle crackles softly, a gentle spark, a warm breath of flame. It teaches in its own quiet way. It simply shines. It does not hurry. It does not compare itself to anything around it. It just glows steadily. Your thoughts drift in and out like clouds crossing the night sky. You don't chase them. You don't analyze them. You let them float. You watch them with the same calm patience the candle has. The clock continues, unbothered. Time isn't pushing you. It isn't judging you. It is simply unfolding, one gentle second at a time. Tonight, for once, you let time soften. You look at the clock, old, polished, slightly worn in places. It has lived through many years, and it still ticks at the same gentle rhythm as always. There is wisdom in its simplicity. The candle doesn't resist the darkness of the room. It doesn't fight to overpower it. It simply makes a small, warm circle of light, enough to see, enough to feel safe. You realize you only ever need a small amount of clarity to feel okay. Outside, the rain becomes slightly heavier, not a storm, just a deeper softness. The drops slide down the window like slow tears of the night. Their rhythm settles into your breath. The river's movement, the candle's flicker, your breath, all moving at the same gentle pace. This is the rhythm of rest. They say the clock once belonged to a traveler, someone who wandered for years, never staying long in one place. Everywhere they went, the clock came along. It wasn't to track time, but to remember that time itself was not the enemy. Worry was. You sit quietly. You don't run. Don't distract yourself. Don't rush your breathing. You sit with yourself as gently as you would sit with a friend who needed comfort. This is awareness. This is presence. The candle burns lower. Its flame leans slightly, as if whispering to you, "The day is done. Let it be done." You feel the warmth of the candle spreading softly through your chest. No heat, just comfort. A sense of space opening, a sense of heaviness dissolving. This is what calm feels like when it finally reaches you. The clock's ticking begins to feel slower, not because time is actually slower, but because you are softer. Awareness stretches each moment gently like warm dough, making it easier to breathe. A long breath out, like the river drifting past the stones. The river doesn't hold on to anything, and tonight, neither do you. The flame doesn't chase anything. It simply is. Bright, warm, quiet. You let this quiet fill you. You notice the clock isn't perfectly rhythmic. Once in a while, there's a slightly longer pause. Not a mistake, just its character. You realize your own imperfections are simply part of your rhythm. You feel the weight of the day turning into mist around your shoulders. Thoughts lose their edges. Worries weaken their grip. The night holds you gently. A small drip of wax slides down the candle's side. Slow, warm, patient. Even the wax falls without rushing. Everything tonight is soft. Inhale on one tick. Exhale on the next. Tick, breath out. The simplest rhythm is often the most healing.
A thought rises inside you, quiet, gentle, easily missed. I don't need to control everything. I just need to be here. The candle agrees. The river agrees. Even the rain agrees. The flame bends slightly, smaller but still warm. Its glow becomes softer, deeper, more intimate. You feel your eyelids becoming heavier. The river's sound quiets. The night deepens. The rain softens. Everything is preparing for your sleep. The clock's ticks become faint, not gone, just distant. Time is not something you follow anymore. It is simply something happening gently around you. You float in the space between ticks. Your thoughts thin out like mist. Your awareness becomes gentle and light. You no longer follow the story. The story follows you into rest. The candle's flame dips one last time, warm, soft, comforting, and whispers without sound, "You did enough today. You are enough. Rest now." The river hums in agreement. The rain lowers its voice. The clock ticks into the background.
There is a stillness in the corners of the room that feels older than the clock and deeper than the river outside. As your eyes wander slowly across the dim shapes of the walls, you notice how the candlelight catches on the wooden grains of the floor, carving little waves of warm amber across it. Shadows breathe in long stretches, expanding and contracting with the calm rhythm of the night. It feels almost as if the room itself is alive, exhaling when you exhale, softening whenever your body releases tension. The silence doesn't press against you. It welcomes you. It gives you space to feel without judgment, space to exist without effort. You realize that calmness isn't something you chase. It's something you allow, something that's always been there beneath the noise. Tonight, the room simply reveals it to you, gently and patiently.
The old wooden clock seems to carry a memory in every slow tick, a memory of each moment it has lived through. Its ticking isn't about seconds passing. It is about moments acknowledging themselves and moving on. As you listen more closely, you begin to hear subtle variations in its tone, a slightly warmer tick, a slightly softer pause, a quiet vibration carrying through its frame. You imagine how many nights it has watched over, How many candles have burned beside it? How many storms have passed outside its window? Yet the clock has never hurried anything. It has never shouted. It has only witnessed, only held space for time to unfold naturally. And now, as it ticks gently in your presence, it holds space for you as well. It reminds you that your life doesn't need to be rushed, that every moment is already arriving exactly when it should. Through the window, the river carries the moonlight in long, steady lines that shimmer like quiet threads being pulled through fabric. The reflection stretches and bends with each soft movement of water, giving the impression that the moon is gently breathing with the earth. You watch it for a while, fascinated by how the light never breaks, even as the water shifts. It simply adjusts, stretches, reforms, always remaining whole. You can feel something inside you responding to this, something that recognizes its truth. Resilience doesn't have to be rigid, it can be fluid. The river teaches this without speaking. It moves because it must, not because it is forced. It carries light not because it tries, but because it naturally reflects what it encounters. You feel yourself easing into this understanding, letting your own breath flow like the water, unforced, soft, continuous. The candle burns lower now, its flame narrowing into a gentler, more intimate glow. Each time it flickers, it casts a dance of light against the clock's wooden frame and the small objects scattered around the room. There is something beautiful about the way it gives itself away little by little, not in exhaustion, but in quiet generosity. It offers warmth, clarity, and softness without expecting anything in return. As you watch the wax pool and reshape itself, you realize how natural surrender can be when it isn't tied to defeat. The candle isn't giving up, it is fulfilling its purpose, one steady moment at a time. You feel a subtle release in your chest, as if your breath recognizes the lesson. Letting go is not the end, it is a form of illumination. Outside, the rain begins to shift into a calmer rhythm. Not quite falling, not quite misting, just whispering with soft taps against the window pane. It feels like the sky is speaking in its own language, one that requires no interpretation. There is a comfort in the rain's constancy. It doesn't demand attention. It simply exists in the background, washing the night in a blanket of soothing sound. You sense how the rain creates a protective barrier between the world and this little room, as if it's keeping the noise of life outside so your mind can settle more deeply. Each drop seems to land in time with your heartbeat, forming a quiet duet with the ticking clock. The night feels fully synchronized. Your breath, the rain, the clock, the candle, the river. Everything has fallen into the same soft pattern. A slow heaviness begins to settle across your body, the good kind, the kind that wraps around your limbs like a gentle blanket. Your shoulders feel looser, your face softer, your breathing deeper. You feel grounded, anchored in a way that doesn't feel restrictive, but deeply comforting. The stillness in the room is not empty, it's full of presence. It holds a quiet warmth, like a hand resting over your heart. You notice how the tension in your mind starts to dissolve without effort. Thoughts lose their grip and drift across your awareness like feathers that no longer have anywhere urgent to land. The night seems to be waiting for you to fully surrender into rest, offering nothing but safety, and gentleness. You glance toward the window once more, and the outside world feels like a dream made of darkness and silver light. The branches sway slightly in the wind, their shapes softened by the rain. The night sky stretches endlessly, holding the moon calm and steady within it. Through this window, you feel connected to something larger, something timeless. Yet the room keeps you grounded, warm, and protected. There is a beautiful balance in this moment, the vastness beyond the glass, and the intimacy of the quiet space around you. You understand that you can feel small without feeling lost. You can feel connected without feeling overwhelmed. The night teaches this in silence.
Your breathing deepens naturally, as though your body has found a rhythm that fits it perfectly. The inhales expand gently, filling your lungs with cool night air. The exhales release in long, warm waves, carrying away any remnants of the day. You notice how your breath seems to settle into its own comfortable home inside your body. Not forced, not held, simply flowing. Each breath feels like a gentle reminder that you are here, in this moment, with nothing required of you. The clock ticks softly through each inhale and exhale, marking your presence rather than your passing time. You feel more grounded than before, as if each breath anchors you deeper into the soft glow of the night. Time feels different now, spacious, gentle, unhurried. The minutes no longer feel like things you need to catch or chase. They simply unfold. You no longer measure anything. The ticking of the clock becomes a quiet lullaby, and the candle's glow seems to blur the edges of your awareness. The night expands outward, peaceful and endless, yet comforting in its depth. You realize that time, when softened, becomes a friend rather than a pressure. It offers room to breathe, space to rest, and permission to let go. You find yourself floating in this slow stretch of time, drifting between awareness and dreams. The room grows dimmer as the candle drops lower, but the darkness is warm, not cold. It folds around you like a soft blanket, wrapping your senses in tenderness. The river continues its quiet journey outside. The rain hums its soft pattern, and the clock ticks in the background like a heartbeat. Everything in the room seems to gather around you, holding you in a gentle embrace. The night doesn't push you toward sleep. It simply carries you there, effortlessly and patiently. You feel yourself drifting, sinking, surrendering to the softness. Here, nothing is demanded of you. Nothing is urgent. You are simply allowed to be, and that is enough. There is a moment where your mind begins to drift naturally, not in a scattered way, but in a gentle, meandering path like a small leaf floating on a still river. You notice how your thoughts no longer carry weight. They simply appear, soften, and fade like ripples touching the riverbank. The candle's glow makes the shadows in the room look like slow-moving stories, almost alive, yet too peaceful to disturb you. The rhythm of the clock continues holding you in place, grounding you in the now. And as you breathe, you feel the room blending into your awareness, becoming less of a place you're in and more of a feeling that surrounds you, a feeling of complete
ease. The candle creates a small circle of golden warmth around itself, a quiet island of light in the dark room. You watch how the flame bends slightly to one side, then straightens, dancing with patience rather than urgency. That tiny circle of illumination feels like a sanctuary within a sanctuary, a reminder that you only ever need one gentle spot of clarity to feel at peace. The wax gathers at the base, forming tiny waves that look like tiny waves frozen in time. You realize it isn't burning away, it is transforming, moment by moment, into another shape, another expression of quiet existence. And in this transformation, something inside you softens and mirrors its calm. A cool, steady draft of night air drifts through the slightly open window. It carries the scent of wet earth and quiet rain, a scent that feels clean and ancient at the same time. The breeze moves through the room like a soft breath, brushing against your skin and settling across your shoulders. It doesn't stir the candle into wild motion, just enough to give the flame a delicate sway. The river outside seems to respond to the wind, sending small ripples across its surface, shimmering under the moonlight. In this blend of air, water, and silence, you feel held by something natural, effortless, and deeply calming. The clock continues ticking with that familiar grounding rhythm, a pattern that feels less like a measurement of time and more like a steady heartbeat echoing through the room. Each tick vibrates faintly through the air, connecting with the soft crackle of the candle and the distant patter of the rain. You realize how rare it is to hear something so unhurried, so patient, so completely free of tension. The clock isn't counting anything. It isn't reminding you of anything. It is simply being what it has always been, a companion in the quiet, a steady presence that asks for nothing and gives you a rhythm to rest inside. As you sit or lie there, breathing slowly, you feel the room accepting you fully, the way a soft bed accepts the weight of a tired body. Nothing in the room shifts or changes to impress you. It simply continues being what it is, offering its calm without expectation. The candle glows, the river murmurs, the rain speaks softly against the window, and the clock keeps time with gentle ease. In this acceptance, you feel something inside you settling. The day no longer follows you. The past loosens. The future pauses. You feel embraced by a space that understands exactly what you need without asking you to explain it. The candlelight reflects faintly in the window glass, creating a soft double of the flame, one warm and close, the other distant and faint. It feels like the room is showing you two versions of yourself, the one that carries the weight of the day and the one that is ready to let everything go. The distant reflection blurs slightly with the movement of rain on the glass, reminding you how easily everything shifts when seen from another angle. You watch the reflected flame shimmer as if breathing with you. That gentle glow, both near and far, helps your mind release its grip, gently loosening its hold on everything it doesn't need to carry tonight.
The river outside begins to form a deeper, slower rhythm, blending with the softened rain. It becomes almost like a quiet lullaby sung by the night itself, steady, fluid, and endlessly calm.
You can almost feel the sound rather than hear it, like a vibration traveling through the earth and into the room. It gives the impression that the whole world is settling into rest alongside you. The river doesn't need direction. It simply knows how to move toward peace. That too becomes a silent teaching. You do not always need to push yourself to find calmness. Sometimes calm comes to you when you're finally still enough to receive it. The rain outside shifts again, becoming lighter, more delicate. It taps softly against the window like gentle fingertips drumming a quiet message. Slow down, soften, rest. The rhythm is calming, random yet soothing, unpredictable yet peaceful. The rain doesn't ask you to think, understand, or interpret. It just surrounds the night with a soft veil of sound. You feel your breath matching its softness, your body easing further into relaxation. The rain has a way of washing away the leftover noise from the day, cleansing the moment without effort. You sense that even the sky knows how to let go. The candle is now lower, its wax forming quiet landscapes around its base. The flame has become smaller but deeper, richer and more tender in its glow. It no longer flickers as much. Instead, it burns with a quiet steadiness that feels like a final, comforting embrace. Watching it is like watching the last light of the day settle inside your awareness, preparing you gently for sleep. The flame does not fear its dimming. It accepts it with grace. It teaches you that endings can be peaceful, calm, and beautifully slow. The darkness in the room has settled into a thick, warm silence that feels almost like a gentle blanket laid over your senses. The candle's last glow lingers like a soft memory. The river continues humming beyond the window, and the clock ticks from somewhere deeper inside the night. It all comes together, the quiet, the rhythm, the glow, the breath, forming a cradle for your mind. You feel yourself drifting effortlessly, sinking into a softness that asks for nothing but rest. The night itself seems to whisper around you, a final quiet reassurance that you are safe, you are still, and you can let go now. A gentle hush rises around you, the kind that lives beneath all noise. It doesn't rush, doesn't demand, just waits for you to notice it. As you breathe in, the quiet deepens. As you breathe out, it settles even softer. Here, nothing needs fixing. Nothing needs thinking. The quiet simply holds its place, letting you sink into it as naturally as a leaf drifting towards still water. Each breath becomes a small release, loosening the last traces of tension hiding in your shoulders, your jaw, your thoughts. The world grows distant, like a dim light fading behind a curtain. What stays is the ease in your chest, steady and gentle, guiding you into a softer state with every inhale, every exhale. A slow calm drifts down over you, quiet and delicate, like the soft weight of ash floating through still air. It doesn't land all at once. It settles gradually, touching your mind first, then your body, then the space around you. With each moment, you feel a little more anchored, a little more at peace, ready to drift without effort. There's a doorway inside your mind that never opens by force. It opens only when you let go. As your thoughts loosen and your breath steadies, you feel that doorway easing open, slow, silent, effortless. You don't have to walk through it. You simply drift forward,
carried by your own quiet surrender. Every night has a moment when your mind stops wandering and returns home to stillness. You're standing in that moment now. The edges of the day blur, the noise fades, and a gentle weight settles behind your eyes. This is the soft place inside you, the one that waits, unchanged, patient, ready to hold you just as you are. There is a place inside you that the world can never touch, a place your thoughts wander back to when the noise of the day begins to loosen and fall away. It doesn't announce itself, it doesn't push for attention. It simply waits, steady, unshaken, always ready to hold you when you finally allow yourself to pause. As you breathe, you can feel this place opening again, like a small clearing inside your chest where the air moves freely and the weight of expectation dissolves. Your shoulders ease, your jaw softens. Even the muscles around your eyes begin to relax. This gentle settling is your mind remembering its true rhythm, slow, steady, unforced. In this soft place, nothing demands your energy. Nothing pulls at your thoughts. You're not required to solve anything, answer anything, or prepare for anything. The world becomes distant, almost transparent, and the only thing that remains is the quiet simplicity of being here. Just breathing, just existing, just resting. You return to this place not because it is hidden, but because it is honest. It is the part of you that remains calm even when the rest of life moves too fast. And tonight, as the night deepens, you settle fully into it, like sinking into warm water, like drifting into a familiar dream. There comes a moment in the night when your body forgets its own heaviness. You feel it now, the sense that your limbs are no longer anchored to the day, no longer carrying the stories you picked up along the way. Everything loosens, everything softens. Your breathing turns into a rhythm you don't have to control. Your thoughts stretch out and grow thin, as if falling quietly behind you. The edges of your awareness begin to blur, and you drift into a space where nothing has shape, and everything is simply allowed to be. It feels like floating, slow, suspended, effortless. And with each breath, you drift a little further from the weight of the world and closer to the lightness waiting for you beyond thought.
The night rises gently around you, slow and steady, like a tide returning to the shore. It doesn't rush, it doesn't overwhelm. It approaches with quiet intention, filling the space around you with a soft dimness that invites your mind to rest. You feel the coolness of that tide brushing against your thoughts, washing away the leftover tension that clings to the day. With each slow exhale, another layer of worry fades out of sight, pulled away by the calm movement of the night. You don't have to move, you don't have to think. You simply let the tide wash over you. Let it quiet the noise. Let it carry you toward the deeper waters of rest. All day long, the world asks things of you. Questions, responsibilities, decisions, expectations. But right now, this moment, the world falls silent. Nothing is required, nothing is demanded. This stillness isn't empty. It's full of a quiet that feels like a soft blanket, full of permission to relax without hesitation. For the first time today, you don't have to be on. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to hold everything together. Peace comes not in a sudden rush, but in small waves, a loosened breath, a softened gaze, a slow awareness that you are allowed to rest deeply, without guilt, without pressure. The night approves. The quiet approves. Your own mind approves. Your breath becomes your guide now, soft, steady, unhurried. With each inhale, you gather ease. With each exhale, you release the last pieces of the day that cling to your mind. The silence around you thickens, settling deeper into your space like a comforting fog. You don't have to chase sleep. You don't have to force calm. All you do is follow the gentle rise and fall of your breath, and it naturally carries you into quieter territory. The silence becomes a companion, not an emptiness, something warm and present, something that supports you as you drift further inward. There is a moment, subtle but unmistakable, when the mind stops fighting for control and simply releases. You feel yourself reaching that moment now. Thoughts lose their shape. Memories fade to faint outlines. Even your inner voice grows softer, slower, gentler. You're not falling asleep yet, but you're stepping into the doorway of it, a quiet threshold where everything becomes lighter, quieter, kinder. You don't push through this doorway. You drift across it, carried by your own soft surrender. There is a moment in the night when the day finally admits it is over. You feel that moment now. The memories, the conversations, the tasks, they loosen their grip and drift like gentle echoes fading down a quiet corridor. Nothing pulls you backward anymore. Nothing demands your attention. The day becomes a distant whisper, leaving you free to sink into the calm that rises in its place. A gentle warmth begins to gather behind your chest, subtle but steady. It feels like someone placed a small glowing ember inside you, soft, comforting, safe. This warmth isn't from the outside world. It comes from the stillness inside you, the part of you that finally feels allowed to rest. As it expands, you feel your whole body unwinding, softening in a way only the night can teach you. Your thoughts begin to dissolve, not abruptly, but like ink curling into clear water, slow, graceful, drifting outward until their edges blur into nothingness. You don't need to push them away. They fade on their own, losing form, losing weight. What remains is space, open, quiet, easy. Space for rest, space for peace, space for your mind to breathe without effort.
A lightness moves through your limbs, soft and airy, as if your body is slowly turning to mist. Your hands feel distant. Your legs feel untethered. Even your breath feels like it's floating rather than moving. This weightlessness isn't escape, it's release. The kind that arrives only when the body finally trusts that it can stop holding itself up. You drift downward now, not falling, not slipping, just gently descending into a deeper layer of calm. The air feels quieter here. The darkness feels softer. The stillness feels thicker, almost velvety. This descent is natural, unforced, as if your entire being knows exactly where to go and is guiding itself toward it, moment by moment, breath by breath. The silence around you isn't empty. It has shape, weight, presence. It settles over you like a shelter, soft walls of quiet
that protect your mind from the noise outside. Inside this silence, you are safe. Inside this silence, you are unseen, unburdened, free to unravel without fear. It becomes a home for your breath, a sanctuary for your thoughts, a cradle for your rest. Let sleep come. Let the rhythm of night carry you. Let the soft glow of awareness hold you gently as you drift deeper and deeper. And now, with the candles settling into stillness, with the river humming its calming song, with time itself softening, good night from Sleepy Zen's story. Rest deeply. You are safe. You are held. You can let go now.